Well, I thought I seen something down there.
I thought I did too for a second on the right side.
Right side?
Yeah, I thought I saw something like real fast.
Yeah, so did I.
The old historic Harriman Hospital sat empty for about 10 years before paranormal investigator Ronnie D. breathed new life into it.
Hospitals are really, really kind of unique because, number one, it's the only building in America where everything happens from birth to death and everything in between.
I'm not gonna lie, we underestimated the historic Harriman Hospital. I knew the location was pretty big, but I had no idea the sheer size. The hospital was almost overwhelming. As of the time of filming this location, there were a lot of rooms and floors that we were not able to investigate.
Harriman Hospital is one of probably the most active and haunted locations I have ever been in. I have been doing this for about 20 years, and it's just amazing the amount of activity that's going on in that building.
Hospitals carry a heavy weight of mixed emotions. From joy, pain, anger, sadness, urgency, and emotional distress. For us investigators, it is common to be affected by the emotions that stain a hospital. As investigators, we understand that we may encounter a spirit who is angry and could be aggressive. It doesn't mean the spirit is evil or something demonic. We need to try to understand why it's aggressive and try to help if we can. Human spirits may feel lost and or confused. They may be upset because it's too late to right the wrongs when they were living. For whatever reason, investigate with respect. For most of us, hospitals are where we draw our first breath. And our last. I was curious to see what others were experiencing at Harriman Hospital. And of course I come across this. YouTubers claiming that they have proof that demons exist. That they encountered demonic entities at Harriman Hospital. What brought them to this conclusion? Their cell phone apps. While we were doing the tour, all of us experienced stuff. What did you experience, Noah?
I had felt like I'd been touched like right around here. I thought it was like a cobweb or something at first, and then everything else happened as well.
Okay. Dawn?
I also felt touched a few different times. I didn't say anything until Joe had been touched, and at the same time I felt something. But right here where I'm standing, and we first started the tour, I had my hair down, and she had said sometimes that they'll play with your hair if it's down. Well, I had it down, and I felt the top of it being tugged, and it was right here. And I had my back to this door, and that's why I mentioned that I felt like my hair had been tugged, and I started to feel electricity, and then it went away.
All right, and then for me, it felt like something pulled my shirt, my sleeve. So it was interesting. Then we heard a knock where she said that can be heard where people hear it from, but that's the second floor, I think.
Second floor.
And then we heard also on the second floor, it sounded like somebody coming up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what our experiences were. Now we're on the first floor, and where we are at.
Got a nurse's station.
We have the nurse's station. I have a digital recorder down there. I also have an EMF meter down there. What's nice about that EMF meter is that it's got to be really close to something that's setting off an EMF field. So nothing far away can really set it off. But down this direction here, they say they see I believe it's a shadow person that comes through that door straight ahead. And then there's shadow stuff down here as well. So we are right in the middle of everything. So I'm Joe.
Dawn.
I'm Noah.
We're here to hang out, talk to you. We're not here to disrespect you or anyone. We've heard a lot about this place. We heard that there is a man in this room. Now I have a device that will go off if you go up to it. And ain't gonna hurt you. I think you know that. If you want and if you'll be more comfortable, I can actually put it in the room. I think I'll go ahead and I will do that. Here you are, sir. We'll back up and see what happens. Sir? I'm assuming you're a sir. Can you make that device in that room go off?
It's flashing.
It was flashing.
Yeah, flashing red.
Yeah, that's the digital recorder.
There it goes again.
That means it was peaking, but there's no reason for it to peak.
I think I heard like a bump up above us.
Okay, I didn't hear it.
Okay.
I don't know if it was me. Did it sound like that?
Yeah, it was
Okay, that was me. Yeah, my phone hit this little bar.
Okay.
Can you tell me, or tell us, excuse me, can you tell us your name? Why is that beeping? It might be making a new track.
Okay.
No, it's not making a new track. Why is it doing that?
Do you want to play it back and see if there's anything, or do you want to?
Won't be able to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why that's beeping. I've never seen it do that. I mean, this is the second time we've used it.
Oh. If you're trying to communicate with us, can you make it flash again? One little flash.
Could you do that one more time, please?
Thank you.
So I honestly don't know why it's doing that, but it's
Yeah.
doing it quite a bit. So there's a device in your room. If you just go over there and basically step on it, it should go off. That'll let us know that you're here. In fact, I'm not trying to treat you like you're a circus animal or anything like that. But it'll confirm to us that you are here with us, and we can communicate with one another. I mean, you can always take that balloon and you can move it too. There's nothing to that balloon.
It's a lot of flashing.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that.
Can you step away from that red light and go back into the room and step near the other device on the floor? It'll play music, right? Is that the one? No?
No,
Oh, what is it in there?
that is just EMF meter.
Oh.
I can get my phone.
Oh, I thought you had that set up.
Yeah, I can grab my phone that has that on there.
I think we should do that on the second floor, for sure. Near the children's room.
Is it, okay. Is it okay if I go in your room? If it's okay, can you make that go off? The device that's in your room? If you don't want me in your room, can you set that device up for me? Could you knock on something for me? Just to let me know that you're here? I'm just trying to confirm. I don't know, guys.
And you said that won't play back
I mean, it will, but I
later,
don't have-
not with your software.
In case you didn't get your name, can you tell me your name, please? Oh, it's blinking a long time.
I know you can see us standing here. Can you tell me how many people are standing in the hallway? How many of us are here? Is it okay if I go into your room? Can you make a noise? Let me know.
All right, I say we move on.
Yeah. We'll have to check that later. Thank you. If that was you.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Nah, it's gonna make a
Okay, so, Joe, just don't let me forget that I have them on the first floor. I'm leaving them here. And it's funny because if anybody wants to move these, I'm gonna put them in a triangular shape there.
Yeah, make sure you...
Yep, it's in a triangle. All right.
So we got a couple of devices. One device you can talk into. It's a digital recorder. You're probably familiar with that. We have one over by a door by the x-ray room. If you go up to it, you can set it off. It'll let us know that you're here with us. We have another device on the floor. Ain't gonna bother you. It's a cell phone. And I'm sure you probably know what one of those are. So if you go up to the cell phone, the one with the big screen, you jump around on the phone, move the phone around, it'll play music.
Did you hear that?
Sound effect that way?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a tapping.
tapping or like something shuffling or something.
Uh-huh. If you're walking down the hallway, you can come in here and join us.
So far, seems pretty quiet.
Yeah, I was telling Noah before you came back in, I don't know how active it would be back here other than residual, and if anything's moving around because it was x-ray, you know?
Right.
We passed by that makeshift morgue. We could go to that area real quick.
Yeah, we definitely can do that.
Okay. Let's turn this light back on so we can have a little bit of light.
Put it staying on.
So I just heard that tapping, but that could be anything. You gotta do all your stuff. Beep.
I thought I heard it happen over here as well, but I think it's just like the building settling. It seems like too infrequent.
Unfortunately, it was quiet. No EVPs were captured. However, something did happen. I'm gonna need somebody to check my back when we get there.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there's
I just
the
felt
thing.
a burning sensation on my back.
And you were picking up your equipment, is that when it happened? You started feeling it?
It happened when I was walking. I'm not gonna say specifically where, I'm gonna see if you guys just notice.
I mean, it's a little red here, but
Touch. That's where I felt it, I swear to God.
it's like a little bit red.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it is red,
But barely noticeably red.
Okay.
but compared to everything else, so,
Right. You guys get that on camera?
yeah.
Okay, just making
Yeah, this
sure.
one's showing up on this. So.
Yeah.
I had it on this.
Yeah.
It was noticeably a little more red.
So, yeah, this was a makeshift morgue, I guess.
And this was the original gurney.
Yeah. A lot of bodies have been on that gurney.
And did she say something about where families will come to claim the
Yeah.
loved ones?
Yeah, they come from one of the doors or something like that over
Yeah.
there.
Then there's a
From
girl
the
like right
ambulance.
out where the ambulance is.
Right.
And then I think there is a building out there too that they had to use.
Right.
That's what she said. Okay.
If there's anyone here with us, could you just give us a knock? Do you need help crossing over? If so, could you please knock twice? I also, at the ready, have a heart monitor on my, on YouTube. The sound of a heart monitor, I have that. And we will use it. We'll see if that'll be a good trick.
All right.
I think definitely like around ICU area, that'll be a good spot.
Right.
Yeah, especially if they were already dead here. Do you know where you are? Is it okay that I'm sitting here? We just want to know your story. If you're still lingering here, can you tell us who you are?
Pretty sure it's also picking up the fan out in the hallway.
I did hear that.
It's okay if it does.
But that red light's not beeping or blinking.
Yeah, I haven't seen that do it at all since we got in here.
I don't know why that is. I'll have to look that up, see why it's doing that.
Yeah, it's definitely not blinking. It did a little bit, I guess, in the other room, so 2 rooms, but not here.
Yeah, I saw it blink just a little bit, like in the x-ray area.
Because there is another light on there, and that will blink if the audio is peaking, but that wasn't the light.
Yeah, I mean, he was also doing it when it was quiet. So there would be no reason for it to peak.
Right.
But responding to when we were talking or asking a question, so hopefully it picked up something. They said a lot of people died in this room. Can you tell us how many people are here with us? There's 3 of us. How many other people?
Let me shape that question, actually. So there's 3 living people here in this room. How many spirits are here with us?
If they don't know they're dead, they don't know their spirit.
And I'll address that here in just a second. Okay, how many people are in this room?
Noah, do you have any questions?
Not right now, no.
Feel free.
Well, I have last questions, we'll jump in there.
Oh, I know, you were just wondering.
I don't know, I just like to wait a little bit before I start asking too.
Absolutely. So he wants to go to the other part that I can't even remember how to get to. Did you want to do more of that on your own, or did you want to?
I mean, I'm fine going there like all together as well, but I do want to go there on my own as
Okay.
well.
Right, and that's fine. Let's see. How is the food here in the hospital? When I eat food from the hospital, it's not very good, is it? I thought I heard a footstep.
I didn't hear anything.
You didn't? Maybe it's just my ears then. Well, I have these devices by the door. If you want to step up, send them off. One of those devices though, you're gonna like just jump on and go crazy, kick it around, because it's pretty hard to go off, but it does play music. The one that's on the floor with the big screen. The other device, if you just go up to it and just step on it, it may go off and it'll let us know that you're here.
quiet.
So far.
How was the staff at the hospital? I thought I heard 2 footsteps
I
again.
thought I heard that too. So it sounded like boot steps. It sounded like boots.
I didn't hear just so
It was,
something like that. Not exactly.
I thought it was more like a boot.
Yeah, I still didn't hear anything.
I heard 2 right when he said, I thought I heard 2. But I wasn't going to say anything because I just thought it was nothing. I just always like to make sure someone else hears something. I need to speak up. But I heard what you heard.
If that's you walking down the hall, you're more than welcome to come in here and hang out with us and talk with us.
Tell us where we need to go.
Am I just hearing
I heard
shit?
it that time.
I didn't hear
It
it
was like a
this time.
thud.
I didn't hear it.
Right. So it was like 2 thuds.
I didn't hear
I
it.
only caught one of them.
Where do you think
but
it's coming from? Hallway or upstairs?
That sounded like it probably was upstairs, honestly. 'Cause it sounded like it was like right above.
Well, I hope my digital recorder or something caught it.
Well, we could move to this next area that he knows that he wants to go to just to
We'll
get
have
our
to go
bearings.
upstairs first.
Oh, you
get
do have
through
to
there,
go.
So,
Oh, that's right.
because
Okay.
the main way to it's blocked off.
Okay. So then what we'll do is we'll go upstairs, we'll investigate, and then we'll go to where you want to go, and then we'll move on from there.
Okay.
And the second floor is, we know that's a big one. It's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
take
got
some
the
time.
like block hallway and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking that, what time is it? 11?
11:02.
Okay. Now, I know that's not on airplane mode, but it's not gonna set any of those on.
My watch never does.
Yeah, it's not gonna set that off. Whatever, I mean, that thing's gotta be like just a couple feet away from something that's blowing off EMF.
Yeah, I've never turned it off and it's never set anything off. All right.
Can't remember. I forgot about it.
What more do we have in here, on the first floor?
Didn't we hit all the good spots?
Yeah, I mean, we hit the major places. It's just that hallway with the stairs that sometimes they've said they've seen like shadows, but
All right, so what we'll do is, whenever we're done, we'll go back to the break room. We'll take a break. We'll let our cameras and shit just cool down a little bit. I wanna check the batteries on everything.
Yeah, 'cause the second floor's gonna take a minute.
yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, that one.
Noah and I took a break and made sure that all of our equipment was charged and ready to go for the second floor. Dawn wanted to go to the second floor alone to investigate. Yes, Dawn is using some equipment that I'm not a fan of, but I'm also not one to tell anyone what they can and cannot use when they investigate. During Dawn's time investigating, it seemed very quiet. The microphone on her camera wasn't capturing everything that was going on around her. Dawn was unaware of all the sounds that were going on.
Second floor. Please do not tell me what possessed me to do this by myself. All right. So, trying to get my bearings. I did turn this way. Okay, so Joe and Noah are going to be coming up here in a little while. So I decided to come up here by myself. There is a nice breeze, which wasn't happening earlier. And I told them I was going to go to the kids' room. And there is a chair in here. Okay, so I'm going to try to position the camera to be on me in this other chair. Okay. All right. All right, I don't know if there are any kids in the hallway or in this room with me, but I'm going to set this cat ball out here in the hallway. It's a little toy that flashes if you touch it. So I'm going to let it sit there for a minute. It should go off. And of course, anybody watching, this is the first time I've used dowsing rods. So I definitely could use some expertise. And of course, like, we're trying some new stuff out that we don't always know if it has the capability of doing what other people say it does. But if you're in here with me and you are a child, could you cross these rods? You just have to move them so that they cross. If you're out in the hallway, could you point the rods in the direction of where I can find you? If you're in the room with me, can you point these two gold-looking sticks to the direction where I can find you? How about if you can't do that, that you touch that little ball that's on the floor? And knock. Are you out in the hallway? Some people say they've seen a little boy and a little girl. If you are the little boy, can you give me a hug with these rods? Do you know how to do that? Move them back towards me. If you're the little girl, can you give me a hug? If it's not a child in the room with me, can you cross the rods? So I haven't had any luck with these tonight, but I haven't used them much, so that's just something I wanted to do. All right, I'm gonna take this light off of me.
Earlier that day, I placed a digital recorder in that hallway. The digital recorder recorded over 5 hours of audio in that hallway. I'm going to replay this clip with the added audio from that digital recorder.
Trying to get my bearings. I did turn this way. Okay, so Joe and Noah are going to be coming up here in a little while. So I decided to come up here by myself. There is a nice breeze, which wasn't happening earlier. And I told them I was going to go to the kids' room. And there is a chair in here. Okay, so I want to try to position the camera to be on me in this other chair. Okay. Alright. Alright, I don't know if there are any kids in the hallway or in this room with me, but I'm going to set this cat ball out in the hallway. It's a little toy that flashes if you touch it. So I'm going to let it sit there for a minute. It should go off. And of course, anybody watching, this is the first time I've used dowsing rods. So I definitely could use some expertise. And of course, like, we're trying some new stuff out that we don't always know if it has the capability of doing what other people say it does. But if you're in here with me and you are a child, could you cross these rods? You just have to move them so that they cross. If you're out in the hallway, could you point the rods in the direction of where I can find you? If you're in the room with me, can you point these two gold-looking sticks to the direction where I can find you? How about if you can't do that, that you touch that little ball that's on the floor? Are you out in the hallway? Some people say they've seen a little boy and a little girl. If you are the little boy, can you give me a hug with these rods? Do you know how to do that? Move them back towards me. If you're the little girl, can you give me a hug? All right. So when Joe and Noah come back, we are going to be investigating this hall. Is at least a little.
All right, so Dawn is actually on the second floor by herself. Noah and I, we are headed up that way and see what happens. Hold on, Noah. I forgot something.
I got my phone, I can use the flashlight on that.
I'm just waiting on them. That was my stomach. What was this room used for? It wasn't a nursery, was it? Is this light bothering you too much? So I can turn it off.
There's a little light there.
Sometimes we hear these noises and we know it's just the building.
I remember, yeah, I think we go this way. Yeah, we gotta go this way.
We don't even know where we're going.
I remember.
I hear Joe and Noah.
The drop.
Yep.
Yeah, where we